Hi, my name is Nikki Flynn, and this is EDL 951, Module 8, the case study. A little bit about the case study. It is in a school district that's a small rural district. It's a K-8 building in which I was the administrator of. About 420 students. It's 25 miles from a larger city, so it's just a smaller district right outside of a larger city. Mr. Sample is the only administrator on staff, and at this point, he has a very good relationship with all the stakeholders. PTA raises a lot of money for classroom support for teachers. They do two major fundraisers each year that raises the majority of the money to help the district out with those expenses that they are not able to afford. The PTA uses funds to purchase new software for teachers via their request. They have one computer lab in which they put the software on for the teachers. There is computers in the classroom as well, but they didn't have enough software purchased to put into the teachers' classrooms, just the computers in the library. There's a new librarian who's in charge of all the software, and that librarian is new to the district, doesn't have any prior experience, and so isn't completely understanding of how software works in terms of what you can and can't install. So what happened is the new librarian just went ahead and installed software on the teachers' computers as well as the lab with more software than what they purchased, which would be a copyright infringement. And she thought this was a great idea because it would help the teachers get software in their classroom, but it also would allow the PTO to save money because they didn't have to purchase as many software licenses. What happened is, as she was doing this, teachers were excited until she got to Mrs. Brandon's room, and Mrs. Brandon was very upset because she knew that this was illegal. She reported Mrs. Lynn, who is the librarian, to Mr. Sample about what she was doing. Mr. Sample told Miss Lynn that she needs to remove the software that was not purchased, knowing that copying the software is illegal and could put the district in a lawsuit. Mrs. Lynn was upset and didn't understand what happened. The PTA was upset because they thought they were saving a lot of money. What this leads into is the copyright law. Illegally copying software is illegal. It's a huge loss to companies and industries every year, about $63 billion of unknown copyrighted software. Mrs. Lynn unknowingly copied the software in hopes of saving the district money. She could potentially also be in a lawsuit. Teachers knowingly accepted the software in the classroom as duplicates. If they knew that it was a duplicate, then they also would be illegal, ethically wrong. The teacher contract most likely has something in there about copyright infringement. The PTA director, Mrs. Evans, knowingly knew that the software was copied as well to help with the shortage to save money. Ethically, knowing this is wrong, but being unaware of the legalities of it. Mr. Sample told them to remove the software and the flash drives that she had copied him on. If he knows and it doesn't change, then this would also be an issue as well. So basically, in a nutshell, what's happening is Mr. Sample, the principal of SCSD schools, was informed that Miss Lynn, the library specialist, was making illegal copies of software by Mrs. Brandon, a concerned teacher, and the teachers who accepted the copies were also aware they were copies. So some things we don't know. Does the school board know about it? How many teachers are involved? And anyone else that has software copies? Where does this take place? We're not aware of is if the school board knows about it, so probably at a school board meeting. Were there copies sent home? Are there additional copies that we're not aware of that maybe she made thinking that they might use them later? And then the program in terms of, does the school board know of the copies? Did illegal breachment of contracts happen? We don't know exactly what's in the teacher's contract. And how many teachers were aware of the situation? So damage to the district, teacher, Mrs. Lynn, Mrs. Evans, if charges are filed to the copyright, could be very damning to them. Reputation of the district, if a lawsuit was to take place. Mr. Sample has a good, reputable reputation at this point. He has good relationships with the stakeholders. He could lose his credibility for his mission and vision of the district if he gets involved in this, if a lawsuit was brought up. Will the school board hold the teachers to their contract if the copyright infringement is in in their contract? Are they going to hold them accountable? This could be termination if it was in their contract written that way. And does Mrs. Lynn right the wrong that she created? So first we need to fix the problem. There's 3 different actions that could take place. This would be ask Miss Linda to right the wrong and then not follow up. Follow up the teacher contracts and discipline action of the copyright infringement. Do we not get the teachers involved? We just remove the software and leave them at that. We need to make sure that all the flash drives are removed, that the software is on, any licenses that have not been purchased, and then we probably should train the teachers of that. The pros to this we would save district money. The cons to this is that it teaches copyright is all right if you don't get caught, and it is released. It could cost the district a lot of money if we don't fix it. It's bad reputation for the district. Pros, teach lessons about copyright infringement, do the right thing for the district, setting a standard of being ethical throughout the district. Cons, you could lose quality staff and teachers if you hold them accountable, lose relationships with the PTA if Mrs. Evans gets upset, and lose relationships and rapport with the stakeholders if they don't agree with what you did. Other options that we could do is we could fix the wrong, we could teach copyright laws, and this would be a great training opportunity. By purchasing additional license, it would cost the district additional money. Doesn't prevent it from happening again if there's no real consequence to the plan. The best option, in my opinion, is to ask Ms. Lynn to remove all software installed and remove from the jump drives. And the biggest piece to this would be follow-up. Train the staff about copyright infringement and proper ways of doing things in a district. And teach them that there is consequences for those actions. And then fix the right. If teachers really need this software in their classrooms, figure out a way to purchase the proper number of software for the teachers. That way they have what they need in their classroom. Teachers can't succeed if they don't have the right tools. This sets a standard for the district, for staff, students in district, and you need to make sure that that standard is very quality moving forward. So here's my plan in action. Number 1, I would talk to Miss Lynn and Miss Evans about what is wrong and what happened. I would tell them about legal issues. I would tell them that copying software is a legal, you could be fined or potentially go to jail. I would request Mrs. Lynn to remove all software from computers that we do not have license for and from the jump drives. I would talk to the PTA about purchasing additional copies to meet the needs of the teachers. And I would, if they can't purchase them, then I'd figure out another option for them if it was necessary for them to be successful in their classroom. I would set up training for all staff for copyright infringement, and then I'd plan regular trainings for copyright information, so just as a follow-up as well as making sure that everyone kind of knows what's going on. And then I would inform the staff about teacher contract policies. That copyright is illegal on their contract. So in conclusion, the case study allowed for step-by-step analysis of a problem to make an informed decision as a district leader. This is very important because there are issues that come up that are not day-to-day issues. They could be something that doesn't happen very often, and you need to be able to evaluate it and understand exactly what was happening. Is it relevant? This assignment was relevant because this could very well happen to a superintendent or a principal of any sort. It's critical that you make sure that you always keep the district out of lawsuit. That's your job. You must be able to evaluate your decisions to make sure that it does do that, as well as being thorough and make sure that it impacts your district in place. This assignment allowed me to evaluate a long process. This was a step-by-step process, not just a quick do it, move on. There could have been consequences later if I had not followed up with several of the pieces. And then copyright infringement is just one issue that a superintendent may deal with in the district. This also shows the importance of making sure policies and procedures are updated regularly. That's what I have for my case study and my evaluation. Thank you for listening.